So I'm about to show you all the video that I made today, and it was a Transit Connect, and it was a situation where I got lucky on this diag. I kind of knew right away what was going on, but this customer came in previously and he dropped off a like 2013-14 F-150 with a water pump that was just pissing out, and it wouldn't leak all the time. Depending on what spin the water pump was in, it would be sealed up, but then when you turn it like a quarter turn, the bearing would drop and then it would start leaking or something again. It wasn't making a whole bunch of noise while the engine was running either, so it was kind of hard to diagnose where the water was coming from until we dried off the entire front of the engine, pressure tested it, took the belt off of it, and when we took the belt off of it to check the pump and move it around and stuff, all of a sudden when we were wiggling the pump, the water started pouring out of it. So we put the guy's truck together, new coolant, new water pump, new everything, and he was so impressed with how fast we got the work done, and we returned his truck to him. He referred his brother to our shop. Well, I was leaving Friday, and he says, hey, do you think maybe I could drop the truck or my brother's Transit Connect off? Because he's having some problems where this 2.0 liter engine, he goes to come to a stop and it's dying sometimes, and it takes a few seconds for it to restart. It doesn't always restart. So I said, yeah, you know, I should be able to figure out something like that. I noticed that when it was standing there, there was a intermittent tick to the purge valve. Like it would tick and then it wouldn't tick, and then it would tick and then it wouldn't tick, and I was like, this is weird. If it's gonna purge, it's gonna purge. But it sounded like it would go tick 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 tick, like a rhythmic change, which purge valves don't do that. They're either ticking or they're not ticking whenever they're opening and closing. And typically they only work during cruise operation or idle. So I could sense something was wrong, but it didn't dawn on me at first that the diagnosis was actually starting to play out in my head. So today we get on the vehicle and we're looking at it, and there's a tick sound. It's coming and going, it's coming and going, it's coming and going. Fuel pressure and everything's there. It's got spark, it's got fuel. I mean, everything checks out right. Why is this thing dying after it runs about 15 minutes sitting in this stall? The purge valve. Check out the video.
Alright guys, we have a Transit Connect here, and if you hear the customer's complaint is the vehicle is randomly dying at stoplights and stuff like that, and it could just be randomly dying for some reason. Listen to this here. From the time the video started, you notice the ticking sound got louder and it got quieter, it got louder, it got quieter. Now it's getting quieter again. What makes that type of sound? What is this? This is a purge valve. What happens when this thing gets stuck open and it's not supposed to be open, but it's pulling a ton of vacuum and stuff like that, and it's sucking all kinds of raw vapor from the fuel tank, but the engine's not ready for it. It'll flood it out and it will die out. Now watch what happens here. See this here? It's not doing anything right now, but watch when I plug it back in. How come it didn't start clicking again? Now watch what happens when I do this. The valve is no good. Now look, I put a little bit of pressure on that shuttle valve inside here. It stopped again. Now watch what happens when I tap it again. There it goes. It's not supposed to be on right now. It's still warming up. It's cold. Now watch. Got it here. Stuck again. It won't turn on. It stays hung open over and over and over again. You hear it? It's spurting. Because the valve is weak, it's no good, and needs to be replaced. That's one way how do you identify a purge valve. Needs to be replaced. Stopped again.
Now that you guys have seen the video, let me tell you what happened. I don't know if you can pick it up in the video, but I can hear the little sounds every once in a while that indicated something was going on. I even brought it up in front of the customer and in front of my business partner. And the words came out of my mouth. What? That transmission is whining. Something's wrong with that transmission. That transmission is whining while it's sitting here. Wasn't leaking, wasn't doing anything, just whining. There's some kind of whine sound coming from where the engine and the transmission bolt together. I knew something wasn't right with it. And that came out of my mouth. Everybody disregarded it. I disregarded it. Nobody thought to check the fluid level and stuff in it, because that's not what it came in there for. And the vehicle was running great. It was a purge valve. Purge valve was hanging open. It was pulling too much vacuum on the fuel tank. It was flooding the fuel tank with raw vapor. It would cause it to die every once in a while after the customer would go to fuel up fuel and stuff like that sometimes as well, because the purge valve hangs open and it's not supposed to be hung open. When it's supposed to be open, it's open. It's when it's closed, it's closed. And the bad news is the customer paid his bill. Vehicle was running great, super happy with the service and stuff like that. He goes to leave the garage. He goes out of the garage, turns a corner, goes to make a left onto Archer from in front of the shop, and just as he's crossing over into his lane of traffic to go, transmission takes a shit. Transmission went out. Done. No gears, no nothing. And I could sense multiple times the sound, and it sounded like something was wrong. There was really no way for us to stop it from doing what it was doing. Then I asked the guy if he would like us to pull the vehicle back in, check fluid level, make sure everything's good, and he just flat out said, you know what, no. At this point, I'm done with it. I'm not going to keep dumping money into something that I've already got paid off, and I've already got a ton of miles and stuff on it already. I'd rather just go find something else. That sucks, man. That sucks. This is how those stories happen with the ever since situations. Ever since you worked on it, these things happen. And people don't realize it. Just because you take your vehicle into a shop doesn't mean that the only problem that's going on with that thing is what you're experiencing. There could be other things going on as well, and it may have nothing to do with anything that the shop did that causes this to get worse. Like this. We didn't touch the transmission. We didn't service the vehicle at all. All we did was diagnose it, mess with the connector for the purge valve, hook a scan tool up to it, run a couple self-tests. That was it. It happens, unfortunately. And there's no easy way to explain it. Luckily, the customer was understanding and didn't sit there and try to point blame and stuff at us, because he even understood, wow, you guys didn't even touch the transmission. I guess it was just time for it to go. It sucks. It really does. Makes us feel bad. Anyway, I don't even know how to end this. Y'all have a great day. Be blessed.